Sperm whales have a very unique way of communicating. It's not like any other species. They communicate in these things that we call codas, which are short series of patterned clicks. So one might sound like click, 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 and another one might sound like click, 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 click. And they exchange those in long sequences. They often overlap with one another. It's not rude to speak at the same time when you're a sperm whale, right? In fact, we think it shows that they are aware of each other, right? That it's for social bonding. And they will mirror each other's codas very accurately at a sub-second level. And so it's this long series of codas in a row, and they can go on for half an hour when they're at the surface playing and rolling around with each other. But they also talk to each other when they meet at the surface, when they make a deep dive for food. They'll exchange a few codas before turning on their echolocation. And so when they're down really deep, there's no chatting. All of the conversations happen at the surface, which is great for us as biologists because it's really hard for us to follow them down that deep. But most of the exciting conversations that they have, these sequences of codas, happen near the surface. And I think one of the biggest findings that we've had recently is that codas seem to be made up of specific parts, right? That they sort of build together to make a coda, and then they exchange those codas in long conversations or exchanges. And that sort of mirrors human speech in some ways. You know, we have phonemes that we stick together to make words, and those words are exchanged in sentences, right? So there's a unique coda that we only record in the Caribbean. It's called the 1 + 1 + 3. It sounds like click, 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 click. And all of the families that live in the Caribbean have learned to make that very accurately. In fact, it's really hard for the computers to tell apart who's speaking. And we think that that's like saying, I am from Dominica, are you? Because as it turns out, each family might learn 20 to 30 different codas at the rhythm level. And families that speak the same dialect of codas, that share that same set of codas, we call a vocal clan. And those clans differ in what they eat and how they move, probably in all sorts of social behavior we don't understand. And that creates this cultural boundary, right? Whales that speak the same language will spend time together. Whales that don't speak the same language will not, even though they live in a multicultural area of the ocean, right? So there are families that speak 2 different languages, will swim by each other off Dominica, but spend no time together. So it's a pretty amazing example of cultural groups beyond humans.